Okay, hi, here we are again at Chapter 4, Lesson 5, and we are working on converting metric units. So basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking larger units of measurement and trying to convert them to smaller units. For example, taking a mile and figuring out how many feet are in that mile. Okay, and then we're also going to do the opposite, where we're taking smaller units of measure and trying to convert them into bigger units of measure. For example, if I was saying that there's 5,280 feet in how many miles? Well, that's in 1 mile. So we go from a smaller unit of measure to a larger. We're going to work on converting those and going from a larger unit of measure to a smaller. So you need to have your book open to page 290. Get your book open, and we're going to jump right on in to page 290. So we're first going to take a look at how we convert larger units to smaller units. Circle that, square it, what have you, because you're going to see on the opposite page that it goes from converting smaller to larger. So it says each relationship in the table can be written as a ratio. For example, you know that 1 yard equals 3 feet. So you can write the ratio 3 feet over 1 yard to convert from yards to feet. Okay, so we're going to work on writing a unit ratio. And we know that we've had a unit ratio before, which means we're going to put our number over 1. So over on the side, what I want you to do is I want you to write S, not S, oh goodness, erase that. Write L to S. That means larger to smaller. When we write from smaller to larger, we're going to write from S to L. So when we write from L to S, we know that we must write a unit ratio. Okay, it's like, well, what does that really mean? Well, what that really means is we're going, like they said here, 3 feet is in 1 yard. If I wanted to write how many, I don't know, let's do how many, I don't know, tons. Let's do this one, tons to pounds. Okay, my bigger number is my tons, so I'm going to put 1 ton on the bottom because there is 1 ton, but in that ton there is 2,000 pounds. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and take a look at what that actually looks like when we are converting 20 feet to inches. So you're going to notice that this chart right here is super, super, super important, okay? We're going to refer back to it quite a bit, okay? So we are converting 20 feet to how many inches? So we know when I look at feet to inches, right here, feet, oops. Well, I have inches to foot right there. There we go, okay. So I know that 20 feet is really me taking 20 feet times, what do I know? That there are 12 inches, my bad, 12 inches in 1 foot. Okay, so there's 12 inches in 1 foot. That's what we know. Notice that I have lined up diagonally my feet. Okay, so I can get rid of those feet right there, and now that I've gotten rid of those feet, I can just multiply across. So I can take my numerators, 20 times 12, which is 240 inches, and I'm going to put it over 1. Therefore, I have 240 inches in 1 foot. Okay, let's practice this. So let's take a look at 36 yards into 1 foot. Okay, so up above, might not be doing that. Might try to, let's erase this. So we're talking yards to feet right here. Okay, so I know that there are 3 feet in 1 yard. And I need to multiply that with 36 yards. I'm going to make that a unit rate. I'm going to put that over 1. Okay, so basically all I'm doing is I'm writing right here the comparison of how many feet are in how many yards. Okay, because that's what I need to know. So I know there's 3 feet in 1 yard. So I can go ahead and get rid of my yards, and now I just multiply across. And when I multiply across, I get 36 times 3, which is 108 feet over 1. I get 108 feet over 1. Therefore, my answer is 108 feet, because all I did was multiply 36 times 3. Again, if you're not sure what 36 times 3 is, you're going to go up and do that on the side. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the next one. So we're going from tons to pounds. So I'm going to come back up to my chart, and I'm talking about tons to pounds. I'm going to erase this. Tons to pounds right here. Perfect. I know that there are 2,000 pounds in 1 ton. So that's one of the first things I'm going to do. I'm going to come back down here and erase this. I know that there's 2,000 pounds in 1 ton. But I want to know how much there are in 3/4 ton. So I'm going to multiply that by 3/4 ton. Now watch what I do. I'm going to cross simplify those tons. Now basically what I am left with is 3/4 times 2,000 pounds, which we're going to add at the end, over 1. Take a look, guys. This is just what we've been doing, is multiplying. So now we're going to go ahead and we can cross simplify to make our life easier so we don't have such a big product at the end. So I'm going to divide each of those by 4. When I divide 4 divided by 4, I get 1. When I take 2,000 divided by 4, I get 500. So now I just multiply across. 3 times 500 is 15. 1 times 1 is 1. Therefore, in 3/4 ton, which is not a full ton, it's not 1 full ton, it's 3/4 of a ton, okay, there is 1,500 pounds. So we can write 1,500 pounds. Okay, again, if this is going too slow, or going too fast, going too slow, sorry, you can't fast forward me. No, if it's going too fast, slow down and watch it again. Okay, that is one of the perks of having these videos accessible to you. Okay, take a look. We're going from quarts to pints. Quarts are bigger, and we're going from quarts to pints. So let's look back up at my chart. I'm going to take a look at quarts to pints right here. There it is. I know that there's 2 pints in 1 quart. So down below, I'm going to write 2 pints in 1 quart. Now all I have to do is I'm going to multiply that by 1 1/2. Now, let's talk about how we multiply a mixed number. Can we leave it like that? No, we learned that we have to take that mixed number and turn it into an improper fraction. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do the improper fraction this way, where we do that check mark method. 1 times 2 plus 1. So 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So I get 3 over 2 quarts. I can cross off my quarts, and now look at what I'm left with. I am left with, I'm going to rewrite it over here because sometimes it's just nice to see all cleaned up, 3 over 2 times 2 pints over 1. Now, taking a look at this, I can cross simplify. I can divide 2 divided by 2 to get 1, 2 divided by 2 to get 1, and I get 3 over 1. Therefore, my answer is 3 pints. So I was able to get 3 pints. So 1 1/2 quart equals 3 pints. Now, 6th graders, let's think about this for a minute. We said that in 2 pints, there was 1 quart. Okay? Well, what if we have 4 pints? That would give us 2 quarts. So wouldn't it make sense that if I just added 1 more quart, or 1 more pint, that would give me 1 1/2 quarts? Yes, because really 1 pint equals 1/2 quart. So sometimes you also just have to think, is it realistic that that makes sense? Yes, it does, because if there's 2 pints in 1 quart, then I know in 1/2 quart, there should only be 1 pint. Okay, so this is going from smaller to larger. So what we're going to do is we are going to we're going to come over and keep doing some more large to small, and then there's going to be another video of large to small, or I'm sorry, from small to large. Okay, let's take a look at this. Jen runs 1/8 of a mile before tennis practice. How many feet does she run? Again, we're going from mile to feet. Okay, looking back at your chart, you're going to see that there's 5,280 feet in 1 mile. Okay, but she runs 1/8 of a mile. So she doesn't run a whole mile, but she runs 1/8 of a mile. I'm going to cross simplify those miles, get them out of the way. So now my problem becomes 1/8 times 5,280 over 1. Okay, when I look at this, now, I know that I can cross simplify because A, when I look at 5,280 and 8, I know they're both even. Therefore, I could start dividing by 2. But I know that I can divide each of those by 8. But if you don't know that, then you don't know that, right? So you're going to obviously want to do it all the way through, which I'm going to actually go ahead and do. Okay, so on the top, we would multiply my numerators, and I would multiply my denominators. Can I leave my problem like this? No. 5,280 divided by 8. That goes in 6 times, which is 48. And I subtract. That leaves me with 4. Bring down 8. I know that that goes in 6 times. That's 48. Subtract 0. Bring down 0 and 0. So I get 660 feet. Okay, we're going to continue with working from larger to smaller. So turn the page, and we're going to look at guided practice number 1 and 2, because these are from large to small. So we're going to write large to small, and we want a unit ratio. Okay, we're going from yards to feet. Now, on our chart from before, when we look at yards to feet, which I just feel like it's going to be a mess if I keep going back and forth. Okay, so we're going from yards to feet, right? Okay, so yards to feet. Here we go. Just because I'm showing you, by now you might know this, but I'm just trying to keep going back to that chart. You're going to have access to this chart for everything you need. So 3 feet in 1 yard. So here we go. We're going to write 3 feet in 1 yard times, and now I know that I'm taking 5 1/3, but I have to turn that into an improper fraction. So 5 times 3 is 15. 15 plus 1 is 16, and I get 16 over 3. And that would be yards. Okay, I'm going to get rid of my yards. Oh, I can cross simplify. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And I'm left with 16 over 1. Therefore, my answer is 16 feet. Okay? Super cool, super easy. All right, next one. We're going from pints to cups. So up above, or flipping over, pints to cups. I see that there are 2 cups in 1 pint. So that's the first thing I'm going to write down. There's 2 cups in 1 pint. And I want to know how many 4 1/2 pints is on cups. Remember, I'm going from larger to smaller, so therefore I multiply. Okay, large to small, multiply. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. I get 9 over 2. My denominator stays the same, my pints. So I'm going to get rid of those pints. Now I have 9 over 2 times 2 over 1. Let's cross simplify. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. When I multiply across, 9 times 1 is 9. 1 times 1 is 1. Therefore, it is 9 cups. And they already have it labeled for you and everything. It's crazy. Okay, so there were some examples of large to small with the first video. I know it's a longer video. However, it's kind of the way it works with this one. So the next part 2 video is from small to large, but now you have worked with large to small. Remember the unit rate. 3 feet in 1 yard, 5,280 feet in 1 mile. Okay, remember that, and you'll be good to go.